Good morning, students. Welcome back to our social science class. Now we have given below the answers for the assignment 1. Match the following. Again, the answers for the assignment 2. Answer the following. Before going into today's lesson, let's take a short recap on yesterday's session. We learned what monuments are. Monuments are structures explicitly created to commemorate a person or important events to be remembered as historic events in future. Explicitly means openly or frankly. Commemorate means to remember or in remembrance of. These monuments enable us to know about the unique architectural designs, technology, social, religious, and political conditions and status of said period. The monuments also reflect the achievements of the kings and their effective administration. Stupas, bazaars, temples, palaces, and fort ruins are the kinds of monuments which are extant today as evidences. Further, we also learnt about the coins. Numismatics is the study of the evolution, nature, and development of coins. Early coins were minted or created by variety of metals. The composition of metals in the coins gives us information on the economic condition of the empire. The picture and the legend depicted on the coins conveys the names of kings with their titles and portraits, events, places, dates, and logos. Muhammad Ghori had stamped the figure of goddess Lakshmi on his gold coins and had his names inscribed on it. Delhi Sultans developed a coin system known as copper jitals, and they are available for the study of the period of the Delhi Sultans. Iltutmish introduced a different coin system known as silver tanka. Alauddin Khalji's gold coins, Muhammad bin Tughlaq copper token currency are indicative of coinage as well as it propagates the economic prosperity of the country of the time. And these were the information we learned during the last session. And now we are into today's lesson. Now we are going to study about the religious literatures persisted in the medieval India. Chola period was known as the period of devotional literature when many Tamil literatures were composed. Kamba Ramayanam, Seklas Periya Pranam, Nalayira Divya Prabandham, composed by 12 Alvas and compiled by Nadamuni. Though Valmiki wrote Ramayanam originally, it was in Sanskrit language. To enable the South Indians' understanding, Kamba wrote Ramayanam in Tamil during the 12th century. Sekla wrote Periya Pranam, which consists of 4253 verses, which is a narrative of 63 Shaiva Nayanmas. It was composed during the rule of Klothunga Chola II, who ruled during the 12th century. Nalayira Divya Prabandham consists of 4000 verses, which was compositely written by 12 alvas originally during the 8th and 9th century. Tirumurai is a compendium of Saiva devotional poetry, that is, Shaiva Siddhantam, which consists of a total of 12 volumes written from 5th to 9th century by various Shaiva Nayanmas. This has been later compiled by Nambiyanda Nambi during the 12th century and also by himself compiled the 11th volume of Tirumurai. During the 9th century, Manikavasagar wrote Tiruvasagam, which contains 51 compositions that constitutes 8 volumes of Tirumurai, and therefore Appar, Sambandar, Sundarar, Nambiyanda Nambi and Manikavasagar are the foremost leading Nayanmas. All the above were scripted during the Chola period. Also, Gita Govindam was composed by a Tamil Hindu poet, Jayadeva, during the 12th century, which is followed by the Bhakti movement in South India. During the 15th century, a mystical poet, Kabirdas, whose writings greatly influenced Bhakti movement in India. We are now going to learn about the secular literature contributed during the medieval period in India. Ganga Devi, a 14th century princess, wrote Madhura Vijayam, and Krishnadevaraya wrote Amukta Malyata, which is a Telugu poem, and this helps us to gain insight about Vijayanagara Empire. Prithviraj Razo is an epic poem about King Prithviraj Chauhan of 12th century, written by the king's court poet Chand Badai, which portrays the valor and power of the Rajput kings. But we have no Indian accounts in literature about what happened during the Turkish invasion on India, except Kalhana's Raj Tarangni, which happened during the pre-Islamic period. I am giving you an assignment below. That's it for today's session. Let's meet tomorrow.